What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, well, Kelsey Mitchell just saved the Indiana Fever season. Alyssa Thomas owns 38% of all triple-doubles ever in the WNBA. A'ja Wilson just might be the next MVP. And forever, Sue will reign in Seattle. Guys, that and a whole lot more on today's episode of Quita in the Morning.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, guys? We have had a wild weekend. Guys, I just absolutely love women's basketball. I love opportunities to just watch hoops all weekend. And guys, if you love women's hoops, man, I tell you, you were in for a real treat this weekend. And I want to go through a full weekend recap to let you all know what happened. And yeah, it was fun. It was absolutely fun. Okay. And so again, hopefully y'all are having a good one. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. This is Quita in the Morning. And let's just get into it because, yeah. Fantastic weekend. Love to see it. Love to talk about it. And get it, got it, good. Let's move to the first thing I want to talk about, which is recapping the games that happened on Friday. We're going to go Friday to Saturday to Sunday, okay? Hopefully y'all are ready for that massive update, okay? We're going game by game, roughly play by play. Okay, let's get into it. And I first want to start off with Friday, because on Friday we saw a lot of really fan-freaking-tastic games, okay? Weird about the WNBA. We had basically every single team play on Friday. Saturday, 2 teams played. Then Sunday, craziness again. Why exactly the WNBA does the schedules that they do, don't know, unfortunately. But let's get into it. I got to talk about your Liberty. I have to talk about your Liberty, okay? Okay, anyway. Let's first start off talking about Friday. And let's talk about the games that we saw. First of all, we did see the Washington Mystics almost lose against the Indiana Fever, but they do end up getting the job done. Again, shout out to the very, very young and fun Washington Mystics team. They did end up taking down the Indiana Fever. The final score of the game was 84 Fever, 88 Washington Mystics. And the thing I loved about the Mystics is they had the Fever's number in this one. We come into this game with the Indian Fever kind of getting their foot on the gas in this game, and they look really good until we get into the second quarter and the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and it was more and more so that the Washington Mystics were like, you know what? Yeah, we're a young team. I get it. We're a bit young. But I'm going to tell you this. We're going to show up and show out today. We are going to show up and show out. And that is exactly what they did. And when we talk about the Washington Mystics, you got to talk about the lady on the screen right here. The lady on the screen, Sonia Citron. Oh, my goodness. Every time she has a massive game, I'm looking sad at the Chicago Sky and be like, Jeff, really? Really, Jeff? We could have had this? I'm just saying. 21 points for Sonia Citron. She absolutely did her thing especially, guys, in the fourth quarter, right? Sonia Citron is the reason why this Washington Mystics team ended up winning. She is the one who gave the Washington Mystics the lead with a three-pointer, right? Sonia Citron absolutely came in clutch. Her and Suge Sutton. Shout out to Suge Sutton as well. She doesn't get a ton of credit, but I thought she played really well in Friday's game as well. So it was basically the reason why the Indiana Fever lost that game is because Sonia Citron was like, yeah, I'm not letting my team lose. We saw Kiki Ira-Afen once again act like, hey, I know I'm young, but I can give you a double-double any day, anytime. 18 points, 12 rebounds for Kiki Ira-Afen. And, yeah, the Washington Mystics gets it done on the road. 3 big-time triples for Sonia Citron to help this team get the dub. Suge Sutton, 13 big points. And there were times where the Washington Mystics went on droughts. They went on droughts, but it wasn't just their offense, guys. It was their defense that also helped to get them the win, especially sort of later in the game. When it comes to the Indiana Fever, hey, what were the Indiana Fever trying to do? Hey, they were trying to get the ball down low to Aaliyah Boston, and Aaliyah Boston had a pretty good game, right? 20 points for her. But ultimately, Kelsey Mitchell doesn't have the type of game that she had yesterday on Friday, and the Washington Mystics end up getting the job done, taking down the Indiana Fever. And remember, guys, this game was in Indiana. A change to the starter lineup that we would end up seeing yesterday is for Indiana is that Odyssey Sims in Friday's game, she came off the bench. And then yesterday, y'all remember, she started. Okay, that was a different change that we'll talk about when we get to it. Okay, next up, let's talk about the other game that happened on Friday. We saw the Chicago Sky lose to the likes of Chechi / Cecilia Zandalicini. Her nickname is Chechi. Like in Minnesota, a lot of them called her Chechi. In Golden State, they call her Chechi. Her name is Cecilia Zandalicini. I like to say Cecilia, so I'm gonna keep saying Cecilia because I think it's a fun name. But you can call her Chechi as well. Basically, the Golden State Valkyries came into Chicago and was like, we taking this win. We taking this win, and we gonna leave y'all with an L in our bags, okay? L for the Chicago Sky. The final score was 90. Golden State, 59 for the Chicago Sky. I mean, what is there to say? Chicago Sky was in it for the first half, and then they basically lost it for the rest of the game. They got killed in this one. It is what it is, right? We see Cecilia Zandalicini do her thing again. Ever since that game against LA, when Zandalicini, I guess, chatted with Steph Curry, I don't know what exactly was said, but I tell you this, ever since then, she has been on fire, guys. And this is why I love Golden State, because it's just each player are going on crazy individual performance runs, right? You have Veronica Burton, who is showing herself that showing everybody that basically she should be the most improved player of the year. Like she has been on a tear this season. And you got Cecilia Zandalicini, you got Janelle Salon showing that she belongs in the WNBA. I mean, dog, what are we talking about? Golden State Valkyries are fantastic. They're just really good. There's nothing else to really say about them other than they are amazing. And of course, they take down the Chicago Sky. Nothing to write home about. But yeah, anyway. Moving on to actually more important, more entertaining games. Let's talk about the LA Sparks versus the Dallas Wings. Now, guys, this was an absolute nail biter that saw the LA Sparks just sneak out a W, leaving Dallas with the W. This was a game that you love to see for several reasons. Now, number one, You love to see very, very close games. And you love to see teams come back. Guys, at one point in this game, we did see the LA Sparks with a, 16-point win? All right, 16-point lead in this game. And especially in that fourth quarter, the Dallas Wings come storming back. Right? They scored 28 points alone in that fourth quarter for the Dallas Wings. But unfortunately for them, it was not enough. Not enough of a comeback because Paige Bueckers had an opportunity to seal the game on a three-pointer. The Dallas Wings were down by 1 point. Paige Bueckers went up for a three-point shot. I mean, she decent of looks. Ended up missing it, and ultimately the LA Sparks ended up taking the game. They had a chance. Dallas had a chance to win this one, but ultimately they did not. In this game, we saw some absolute fantastic, spectacular play from the LA Sparks. Here's the thing. When we talk about the LA Sparks, who do we talk about? We talk about Kelsey Plum, number one. And in that game against Dallas, Kelsey Plum, she was like, yeah, I got this. 28 points for her. She was spectacular. Five assists, right? You had Julie Allemand, who continues to give this team double-doubles after double-doubles. 12 points, 10 assists for Julie, the Belgium point guard, as she kind of made stuff happen, right? We also continue to see De'Erica, Azare, Rakia Jackson play really well. 20, 15, and 15 for those players. And to Paige's credit, yes, she misses the 3-point shot to seal to win the game. However, it was a good look. And Paige Bueckers was the reason why this Dallas Wings team was even still in the game. She's the reason. 29 points for Paige Bueckers in that game. Like she came up big, and I want you to know that she did not hit not one 3-point shot. Not one 3-pointer was made on Friday for Paige Bueckers. Right? And she only got to the line. She only got 5 free throws in the entire game. Paige's ability to get to the rack and make something good happen, mid-range, like it's really, really, really awesome to see. It really is. I thought she did her thing. I thought she did had as great of a game as she possibly could. Yet and still, the Dallas Wings end up losing at home by 1 point. W Brazil says 29 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. She really do. Tulip, she really do. She really does. Yeah. I mean, K-Jack, I thought it was a good shot. I thought it was a good shot. Sometimes, yes, the Dallas Wings only needed 1 point, which there is no 1-point basket, so they needed at least needed a 2, right? And did Paige necessarily have to shoot that 3? No, but like it was a good shot, and it almost went in. So sometimes players, they got to decide on what feels best. Sometimes a mid-range shot may not feel as great as a 3-point shot. Now she just missed the 3-point shot, but like that was a makeable shot, and so and sometimes you just miss those. It is what it is. All right, but again, shout out to the amazing LA Sparks. They continue to figure out ways to get the job done. Another game that we saw on Friday was the Canada game. So for So for one day this year and until next year, Canada has a favorite team. And that favorite team is the Seattle Storm. As the Seattle Storm come into Canada for this year's Canadian game against the Atlanta Dream. Technically, the Atlanta Dream was at home, but it was Seattle's night as Seattle finally got a dub. If you all watch the Seattle Storm, you would know that Skylar Diggins does that after every game. Right? At the every game, after every win, I should say, she does the do dub. Right? She does that. And I hadn't seen her do that in 6 games because guys, yeah, I forgot to turn my air on. I forgot. It's hot. It is hot. Okay. We haven't seen that in 6 games for Skylar because the Seattle Storm was on a 6-game losing streak, guys. 6 games. They could not get a dub, but one of the positive things about this 6-game losing streak. Now, of course, it's hard to find something positive about losing 6 games straight, right? That it's hard to find something good about that. But that 6-game losing streak, here's the thing about that. The majority of those games were close losses. Right? The majority of those were close losses, right? They lose by 2. They lose by 4, right? They lose by 4 again, right? They lose by 3. Like, what I'm trying to say is that the games that the Seattle Storm were losing were close games that ultimately they were not able to get situated in the end. Now, finally, they play a complete game against the red-hot Atlanta Dream team. And how did they do it? Well, they did it on the back of Skylar freaking Diggins. Skylar does her thing once again, 21 points, 11 assists for the PG. Skylar, right? This is what she does. This is what she does, and it is what it is. It is what it is. I love to see Skylar kind of do her thing, and I love to see the Seattle Storm get a dub. Now, this is a dub that they absolutely needed. I think since Brittany Sykes has been on this team, they have not won a game, and they finally won one on Friday. We saw Brittany stay in the starting lineup, 13 points for her. We saw Nneka give close to a double-double, 16 points, 8 rebounds for her. We just need more consistently from this Seattle Storm team. Sometimes they look fantastic. Sometimes they don't look great. And lately, they have not been looking that hot. Dominique Malunga continues to come off the bench and has a really, really, really good game. 12 points, 8 rebounds for her. Dominique looks good. And again, I've said it before, I want Dominique Malunga in the starting lineup. Will we see it this year? Probably not, but that's what I would like to see. For the Atlanta Dream, it was all about Ryan freaking Howard, but unfortunately, she was not able to get the job done. She does have 21 points, but in the end, Canada is treated to a fantastic, fan-freaking-tastic wire-to-wire, in the end, major comeback by the Atlanta Dream. But ultimately, guys, the Seattle Storm was not going to allow themselves to lose this game yesterday. Despite the fantastic run of the Dream in the fourth quarter, despite the fact that the game was literally neck and neck for the last couple of seconds, right? Despite all of that, the Atlanta Dream fall to the Seattle Storm. And for one day until we get a team in Toronto. The Seattle Storm is Canada's team. All right. Let's continue on to the final game on Friday, which was the Las Vegas Aces versus the Phoenix Mercury. Guys, here's the thing. The Las Vegas Aces are absolutely fire right now. Absolutely fire, right? And when you talk about this team, literally, this team went from being at the bottom of playoff seeding, right? At one point, we thought that it was a possibility that the Las Vegas Aces wouldn't make the playoffs. They have gone on an insane run with winning their 6 games straight on Friday. On Friday, the Las Vegas Aces take down the Phoenix Mercury. And how do they do it? They do it off the back of A'ja Wilson. A'ja Wilson is just... What is there to say? What is there to say about A'ja Wilson? A'ja Wilson is fantastic. 30 points for her, 16 rebounds, leads the W and 30 plus points, right? She's just freaking flat out amazing. She really is. And the thing I love about the Aces, what has jump-started that run? This winning streak that they're on? Several things have been a huge factor, right? The decision to move Jewell Loyd off the bench and having her lead the second unit, that has reinvigorated this team. The fact that Chelsea Gray is starting to look like Chelsea Gray. We all know how Chelsea Gray, the point guard herself, and there was a lot of people that was like, point guard, she ain't playing like a point guard and blah, 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 blah. But finally, Chelsea Gray is looking like herself. She's looking like herself, right? When you look at the bench, you're looking at a team that is happy. They're looking happy, right? You're looking at Becky Hammond, and she's not frowning the entire game. She's cracking a smile. She's cracking a smile. She looks happy. This whole team has just looked like they have had a shot of adrenaline. Like they have. I don't exactly know how to call it, guys. But like it's for everybody, right? From Jewell Loyd to Kirsten Bell to Nalissa Smith to Chelsea Gray. Right? I mean, A'ja and Jackie have always been themselves. Right? But they look happy. They look together. And they look like they're actually having fun on the basketball court. And that, my friends, is a scary Aces team. A very, very scary Aces team. On Friday, they end up taking down the Phoenix Mercury on the road. Final score was 86, Las Vegas Aces, 83, Phoenix Mercury. This was a game that, like, hey, in my opinion, the Phoenix kind of lost this game. But also, the Aces absolutely won this game. Absolutely, right? Alyssa Thomas almost triple-double again, 15 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds in their loss. Satou Sabally did hurt. She was big. She was big on Friday. But ultimately, they end up losing against a team that could be back in the finals. I'm just saying. Amelia says, and A'ja's comments during one of the post-game interviews says it all. They stopped forcing it. Yeah. They stopped forcing it, and it's just like they're just letting the game come to them. And they're having fun. right? They're having fun. And when you have the Aces having fun, that's a scary team. That's a scary team. Just saying. I am just saying, guys. Just saying. All right. From Friday to Saturday. Friday we saw 5 games happen. Saturday, we only saw 1. And that was a rematch from last year's championship game. Last year's championship series between the New York Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx. Guys, we come into this game with the Lynx continuing to ride high. Yes, dog, that was a hilarious quote. Hilarious. And she's right. I'm just saying. Hey, Asia was right. I'm just saying, okay? We move on to Saturday's lone game, where we saw one game happen, where in the Target Center, basically all the fans who showed up, I love some of these shirts. Did y'all see, it was, I think it was like 2 ladies behind the bench. There's probably some other people throughout the crowd too that had it, but they had Stewie Traveled shirts. Or I think it was like Stewie Traveled or Stewie Walked or something like that. It was hilarious. So, some of the shirts that Minnesota made was absolutely spectacular. Spectacular. I love when fans are like, nah, we still petty. We still petty about this stuff. We still upset. I want you to know that we are still upset. Still mad. We are still mad. And I tell you, bye Tisha. Thanks for rocking out with us. I tell you, there is nothing like fandom, guys. The irrationality of fandom is something that continues to be a sight to behold. Because one of the massive issues that the fan base of the Minnesota Lynx had is the foul issue, right? Fouls was a big issue for the Minnesota Lynx fan base. Big issue, right? Big problem. In the finals. Like that's something they came away with about the fouls, what wasn't a foul, what was not a foul. And I tell you, it feels like it was flipped around. Because after that game was over, Minnesota fans was like, oh no, refs did a good job. Good job, refs. Good job calling a good game, refs. And the New York Liberty was like, hey, referees, what are you doing? Are y'all rigging this thing? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Because final score, 86, Minnesota, 80, Liberty. And the Minnesota Lynx benefit heavily from the whistles. And it's the reason why I'm laughing is because, as I always say, the refs give and the refs take away. At some point, you gotta just say, hey, the refs gonna do what they do, but you have to do what you do and win. Win. So yes, was there a crazy, 33-8 margin between free throw attempts from Minnesota and free throw attempts for the Liberty? Yes. Very, very true. Very true. You know, did the refs call all the fouls they could have called on Minnesota to benefit the Liberty? No. Was Minnesota for 40 minutes the more aggressive team? Yes. And for 40 minutes, was Minnesota the better team despite the the wild benefits of the foul calls? I think so. And so, yeah, it was a huge free throw discrepancy. And yet, and still, the Liberty could have won that game. They had a massive comeback. If you all remember, okay, me and my mom were watching a game. We were watching it, especially in the first half together. And we were like, wow, the Minnesota Lynx are absolutely cooking the New York Liberty. Their defense in that first half, or I would say specifically the first quarter, it was absolutely amazing to see. Because it felt like New York couldn't really get into offense in their offensive sets at all. The reason why is because of the stifling defense of the Minnesota Lynx. It was flat out amazing to see. It was. Then we started to see the New York Liberty start to knock down some threes. And then those threes lead to opportunities inside. And then that led to a real ball game. And at the end of the day, the New York Liberty make a massive comeback. Massive. But ultimately, the Minnesota Lynx seal the deal late and get the dub. Now, this was a fun game. It was a game of team versus team. This was not star versus star, right? When we watch the Minnesota Lynx versus the New York Liberty, usually we talk about the two stars. We're talking about Brianna Stewart and we're talking about Napheesa Collier. Both of those players, they were there. They were just on the bench in street clothes. And this game had to be won or lost by everybody else. And for Minnesota, everybody else stepped up, right? From Jessica Shepard, continuing to get the starting nod with Napheesa out, 17 points, 10 rebounds for Jessica. She's flat out fantastic, right? To Courtney freaking Williams, who's like, hey, if I'm feeling it, y'all better be worried. Y'all better be afraid if I am feeling it. 26 points for Courtney Williams. Her mid-range was mid-ranging. It was beautiful, right? Kayla McBride knocking down shots. Alana Smith knocking down shots, also playing some really good defense, right? We see this Minnesota Lynx team look very, very good. And for the New York Liberty's credit, they had a massive comeback led by Jonquel Jones, right? But what is the number one indication of a New York win and loss? Now, I've been on this stat for a long time. We're going to talk about the standings shortly once we get through all the games. We're going to talk about the standings. I've been on this stat for a long time. But do y'all know what I'm about to say? Y'all probably know. If y'all have watched this channel for years, you all know what I'm about to say. When Jonquel Jones gets a double-double, it's almost guaranteed that the New York Liberty win. What did Jonquel Jones have on Saturday? 17 points. Fantastic. Nice job, Jonquel. 6 rebounds. 6. Now, it's not magic. It's not magic that, when she gets a double-double, lo and behold, they win. It's not a magical thing. But when Jonquel Jones gets a double-double, it's an indication of not only them involving her throughout the game, but also it's an indication of the type of shots that they shoot. So, yeah. I gotta say, you can basically book it on a win/loss on if Jonquel Jones gets a double-double. You can pretty much book it. I don't know the stats, but it's probably like, I don't know, 40 something to like 1. It's a huge sign. It's a huge. I need to map it out one day. But like just watching the games, that's the number one indicator. Number one indicator. Can she get a double-double? All right. Let's talk about something else, guys. The game against the New York Liberty for the Minnesota Lynx, it got me thinking. It got me thinking a question that I don't know if people are ready to answer just yet. But with the ascension of the Las Vegas Aces in the standings, and with how dominant A'ja Wilson has been and how she's really been the reason, the catalyst, the number one reason as to why they've been winning these games and whatnot. With that being said, and with the Minnesota Lynx continuing to win without Napheesa Collier, and not just win, but win tough games without Napheesa Collier, it leads me to ask the question, are the Lynx too good without Napheesa Collier? Now, that's a dumb question I ask you. Maybe you're like, what kind of question is that? Are they too good without her? This is a question in particular that's about the MVP race. It's about the MVP race because the MVP always goes to the best player on the best team in the W for the most part. It goes to the best player on the best team, or the best player on the best top 3 teams, top 4 teams in the league. Right? That's a huge question. Are the Lynx too good without her? Because if you notice, they haven't lost a game without her. Now, and also, remember, they just beat the New York Liberty, guys. Right? This team is rocking and rolling, right? They won 2 back-to-back games against New York. Right? They beat a really good Washington Mystics team who like is, can be doing anything. Right? Now, what winning without Napheesa has shown us is that, one, Cheryl Reeve, Coach of the Year. I think it's proven that Cheryl Reeve absolutely should be towards the forefront of the Coach of the Year standings. Because if you can win, still figure out ways to win, and win outright against the defending champions without your best player, that's a fantastic coach. So shout out to Cheryl Reeve for that. But again, with Minnesota continuing to win, right? With the ascension of the Las Vegas Aces, specifically A'ja Wilson being A'ja Wilson at an elite level, it does beg the question, is Napheesa Collier's MVP, that was basically a done deal, right? We came into the year anticipating her possibly winning the MVP. And she showed up and showed out exactly how we thought she would. And she was my definitely number one pick for MVP. But again, with her being out and what A'ja Wilson is doing, it's forcing the question of, number one, how many games can she possibly miss? And are the Lynx too good without her? And I know some of y'all may not like that conversation, but it truly is a conversation. Now, at this moment, yes, I still have Nafisa as my number one, right? I still have her as my number one, and I have AT at number 2. I have Asia at number 3. I still have that. However, depending on how many more games Nafisa's losing, not her losing, Nafisa's missing, Asia is about to leapfrog both AT and Nafisa Collier. I'm just saying. And it does beg the question. Henry said the Lynx are definitely gettable. They are. Absolutely. KK says that preventable and unnecessary injury took her out of the running for me. I mean, meaning that you don't think she should have been in? Tulip says Phee needs to return and return well, though, because AT and Asia closing in. Kay says Kelsey Mitchell should be in the MVP conversation. I think she is, but I don't think she's top 3. I just focus on the top 3. Yeah, I don't think she's top 3. Right? So, yeah. That's my thoughts there. We're going to look at the standings soon, but it's begging the question that we actually have to start talking about this. And does the CBA end up having some sort of games played clause to win stuff? Okay? Carmelo says Phee can miss 2 to 4 more games before she's out for me. AT, the triple-double queen herself, needs some more respect from this chat ASAP. I mean, yeah. Y'all know how big I am on AT. We about to talk about AT when we talk about Sunday's games because, yeah, AT is unreal. She is unreal. All right, moving on to Sunday, guys. Sunday was about Sue Bird getting immortalized. Forever Sue. Sue Bird has a statue in Seattle. Now, next time I go back to Seattle, I got to check it out. Here's the thing. Sue Bird was absolutely deserving of this. And I love that she got her flowers, right? I love that she got her flowers. I think that she really is Seattle basketball, right? And also, guys, when players get statues, when players get certain milestones, all of the legends come out, right? We saw Diana out there, right? We saw my favorite player, Lauren Jackson was there. And y'all, I love to see it. Y'all know I'm a big fan of Lauren Jackson. I love seeing her. Swing Cash was there. Y'all remember when Swing Cash and Lauren Jackson and Sue Bird won a championship for Seattle, right? I love it. I think the statue looks fantastic. Like the person who created the statue did a great job on the statue. I thought it was great. So yeah, just gotta talk about Sue Bird real quick and talk about how awesome it was to see her get that statue. Also, how awesome it was to see some of the Seattle greats, in particular, Swing Cash and Lauren Jackson. It was good to see them there for that. Yeah, Australia's a long ways away. And she's like, hey, I'm not missing this. I am going back to Seattle. I don't know. It'd be better if she was going back to Cali, but anyway. Anyway, let's go to the games that happened on Sunday. And before we do, I want to quickly recognize this comment. Cool Lives Inside says, crazy, we're talking about availability and still not mentioning Alysha Gray. Has been there this whole season. 2 player of the month and player of the week last week. Come on, y'all. And yes, is Alysha Gray fantastic? Yes. Has she been fantastic this season? Yes. And truly, she's just up against a gauntlet. Again, I'm focusing specifically on top 3. Is Alysha Gray arguably top 4? Yeah. She's been great this season. Great. However, I just focus on top 3. And my top 3, as I've been saying, Napheesa, AT, Asia. But literally, Asia about to jump. She about to jump all the way to the top. I'm just saying. I am just saying. K-Jack says guards get no love. They don't. Here's the thing. The WNBA is a forwards league. The best players in the WNBA, the players who get the awards and all that other stuff, especially when it comes to MVP, are power forwards. It's because power forwards have the most important position on a basketball court in the WNBA. They're the most valuable players on a lot of teams are the power forwards, the post players, right? So yes, absolutely. Do guards get a lot of love? They don't get as much as they probably should. But at the same time, the most valuable players on the courts in pretty much every game is a post player. It just is what it is. Right? It just is what it is. And sure, that's probably unfortunate for guards, but it is what it is. Diaspora says they are the most diverse positions. Yeah, because fours do fours. If you have a really good 4, they do everything. They can guard the post. They can guard guards, right? If we're looking at the ones in the MVP category, right? We're talking about Napheesa Collier, Alyssa Thomas, A'ja Wilson. We're talking about those players. Every single one of them could play defense on basically anybody on the court if they need to. Basically, every single one of them are overall just elite defenders, right? Basically, not every single one of them, because AT can't shoot threes. But if you look at A'ja and Napheesa, you add in Stewie in there, right? You add in other 4s and sometimes even 5s, right? Nneka Ogwumike, you got to talk about her as well. We talk about those players. They're 3-level scorers. They can shoot the 3. They can shoot the mid-range. They can score at the bucket, right? They can do a little bit of everything. Now, yes, should guards get more love? Sure, absolutely. But in the last 5, 6, 7 years in the W, the most important players have been in the post. And they specifically have been power forwards. So, yeah. It is what it is, okay? It is what it is. All right, let's go to the Sunday's results. What happened on Sunday? Well, we saw a whole bunch of games. Again, we saw a bunch of games on Friday. Only one game on Saturday. We saw a whole bunch of games on Sunday as well. And guys, I got to begin with the game that was insane. It was absolutely insane in the membrane. I'm talking about the Indiana Fever versus the Connecticut Sun. Now, this game was absolute bonkers. The reason why this game was bonkers is because we saw the Connecticut Sun come out of the gate looking very, very good. And we saw them taking it to the Indiana Fever, right? right? In the first quarter, right, at the end of it, right, 24 for Connecticut, 11 for Indiana. And I thought that this was about to be a Connecticut win. I was like, OMG, mama. The Connecticut Sun about to take down the Indiana Fever. Like I was going wild for it. Because again, I love the underdog. And I was like, okay, we about to see the underdog get the job done. And they were looking good, right? Really, really, really good play for the Connecticut Sun. They look good. Flat out. And for the Indiana Fever, they didn't start off playing well overall, right? Kelsey Mitchell wasn't really getting going in that first half, right? We ended up seeing Sophie Cunningham go down early in the second quarter. Now, people are like, "Hey, what happened?" Well, it was seemed unfortunately, guys, and because the reason why I say unfortunately because I don't think this was her fault, but it did involve Bria Hartley. Bria Hartley was driving to the rim. I believe she was guarded by, I believe it was Kelsey Mitchell that she was guarded by, and Kelsey Mitchell was like on her side, and you know how someone's like running to the rim and someone's on their side, kind of like pushing them. And I mean, I wouldn't have called it a foul, but like he's kind of pushing her a little bit. And Bria Hartley ends up falling. She falls as she's falling, we see Sophie Cunningham is coming to like help defend. And Bria Hartley falls on Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham clutches her leg and she's out for the rest of the game. Now, some people were like, "Oh, was this hit dirty?" No, I don't think so. It's a basketball thing. I don't think so. I think there were some people who were like, "Oh, you see how when Bria Hartley was falling, she angled to specifically fall on Sophie Cunningham." And it's like, dog, do you watch basketball? Do you watch basketball? Really? You see that play happen in the WNBA where a player is trying to get to the rim. They're being heavily guarded. The refs could or could not call a foul on that. And they fall. It's just unlucky. Not everything is a conspiracy against the Fever. Not everything is targeting. Not everything. Now, it's extremely unfortunate. Extremely unfortunate. Extremely. But it happens. It absolutely happens. Kine says, yeah, this was an accident. Hartley is usually in some stuff, but not this time. Yeah, like that's the thing, and it sucks that it was Bria Hartley because, like, yeah, Bria Hartley has done some stuff this year that was not the best, and stuff that she knew she was doing, and stuff that I don't think was an accident. This 100% was an accident in my opinion. Like, you're gonna specifically, okay, so you're falling. You're going to specifically angle your fall so you can literally so you can partially land on her because you know that's going to take her out. Really? Come on now. Like, I think people are reading way too much into stuff. Way too much. Because remember, Sophie Cunningham came in late to help. Right? So, I mean, people believe whatever you want to believe, but like literally, I see players fall on those plays often. It's just that we rarely ever see someone get hurt from it. Right? Jay Ali says, everyone called Bria Hartley dirty until she does it against the Fever. Well, here's the thing about making generalizations. They're not true. Now, were a lot of people calling her dirty? Yes, absolutely they were. And when I was asked, is she a dirty player? I was like, I don't want to speak on that because I don't call people. I don't call players dirty. I think there was some stuff that she knew she was doing. I don't think that she was trying to hurt anybody. I think she was falling. I think she was falling. And because of her reputation, it has led people to think what they want to think. But I really don't, because truly, guys, if literally go back, literally find it. I was asked, and I said I don't want to call players that. I think that's yeah. So find it. The text is truth. Find it. All right. All right. But I will say this. That flagrant was wild. Early in the game, Sophie Cunningham was called for a flagrant. And I was like, what? That's a flagrant? I think that was the refs being a little bit too sensitive because it was the Fever and the Sun. I thought that was a dumb flagrant foul. Like I think that was that. I don't think that made any sense at all. At all. So yes. Did Sophie deserve that flagrant in the first couple of seconds of the game? No, she did not. Because it wasn't a flagrant. It wasn't. It's a regular foul. Regular foul, move on. But that was an instance of the referees being way too sensitive. And I get it about the players involved, the teams involved and whatnot, and what happened earlier this year. But I don't think that was a flagrant. I don't. But anyway. That being said, Sophie goes down, and it's like, oh my goodness, the Fever definitely going to lose now. And then came the second half. This is why I love the game of basketball, specifically women's basketball, because it's like there are times when your team looks dead in the water. Your team looks dead, like your team looks terrible. Like you can't get a basket, you can't do anything. You are bad news bears. Really, really, really bad. But the beauty of basketball is just like there's a first half, there's always a second half. And just because you have a bad start to the game, your start does not have to equal your finish. In the first quarter, Kelsey Mitchell, 0 field goals. 0. Second quarter, Kelsey Mitchell, 0 field goals. But there is this beautiful thing called the second half. And in the third quarter, Kelsey Mitchell started a wild run. A wild run that led her team from being down by 21 points to winning the game in overtime. Kelsey Mitchell was wild. She scored 34 points in the second half. 34 points. She was knocking down bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket. Because Kelsey was like, you know what? We are a team that are kind of close to being out of the playoffs. We are playing against the worst team in the WNBA on record, in terms of their record. We're playing the worst team in the W right now, and they're cooking us. They're cooking us. Sophie, my teammate, just went down. She went down. And I got to show up. I got to step up. The only way this team wins is if I win for them. And Kelsey Mitchell proceeded to play flat out amazing, guys. 34 in the second half, 38 points in total. She was on that court playing lights out basketball. At one point, she had like 2 back-to-back threes, right? Ended up with 5 threes in yesterday's game. She was amazing. And she is just an example of like why I love the game so much. Because you get stuff like that. You get legendary performances like that. Literally, she basically single-handedly willed her team to win. Now, did Odyssey Sims play a good game? Yes. Shout out to Odyssey Sims. I thought she played well. 19 points for her, 7 assists, right? She played well. Did Natasha Howard try to keep this team together with her points? Yes, she did. 18 points, 9 rebounds for Natasha Howard. Yes. This is not a Kelsey Mitchell did everything and no one else did anything. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is when it mattered the most, when this team needed a hero, the hero was Kelsey Mitchell, right? The hero was Kelsey Mitchell. I love to see it. Because it just shows that, like, it doesn't matter how bad you think you are, right? The Indiana Fever, in a lot of people eyes, my eyes, I was like, oh, they're down for the count. The Indiana Fever are about to lose to the Connecticut Sun. And Kelsey Mitchell said, no way. No way, Jose. No way, Jose. And I absolutely love to see it. I love it, man. I love it. I love it. Diaspora says the hero is always Kelsey. I mean, Kelsey Mitchell she was on fire, man. She was on fire. Okay? Absolutely on fire. And I love to see it, man. I love to see it. WZL says Connecticut started hanging on the perimeter and didn't look inside. Here's the thing. Connecticut, they had the game. Now, while Kelsey Mitchell was doing her thing and while she was amazing, Connecticut had this win. The problem was they just started to rest on their laurels in the second half, right? They started to rest on their laurels. And when that happens, you're going to lose, right? Game barely gets to overtime. And in overtime, it was over. It was over. So, shout out to the Fever. Shout out to Kelsey Mitchell. And I got to say, shout out to Connecticut for holding on. Here's the thing. Connecticut is categorically the worst team in the W, right? They won six games all year, right? They're not overall not good. However, as I said before, they're better than their record. And I gotta say, man, it was cool to see them hang in for so long. Now, yes, they should have won, but I continue to love to see Anissa Moreau getting these double-doubles. I love to see it. I love to see Tina Charles continuing to lead this team. Continuing to lead this team. She leads this team in points. And she's someone who's going to be retiring soon. Like how she's continually able to make an impact is wild. Marina Mabrey and her big buckets yesterday, I thought Marina was huge. 27 points for her. Like, she was big. And I continue, guys, to love the play of Layla LeCon. I've talked about Layla LeCon ever since she joined this team late in the season. I think what she has done with this Connecticut Sun team is wild. The Connecticut Sun, the reason why they're better than their record shows is because Layla LeCon has been a huge factor as to why. 7 points for her, but 14 assists. I love the way Layla plays defense. I think she is just someone who gets after it, right? And so, yeah, shout out to Layla LeCon, man. I love watching that girl play. I love to watch it. Love to watch it. And another player I love to watch is Sanaya freaking Rivers. Like, guys, the future for Connecticut, I am bullish on the future of Connecticut. The reason why is because look at the rookie deals they got, right? Look at the rookie deals. Layla LeCon's on a rookie deal. Again, 14 assists. Come on, guys. Come on. Right? You got to need some moral. Rookie deal. Right? Right? Aaliyah Edwards. Rookie deal. Sanaya Rivers. Rookie deal. I think this is great. Like, Sanaya Rivers, once she consistently gets that 3-point shot, and she was hitting it yesterday, but once she consistently gets that shot, it's a whole nother story. It's a whole nother story because Sanaya Rivers, she has it. She has an engine that won't quit. She has that confidence, and once she consistently can get that shot, dog. Man, I think this Connecticut Sun team has a big future, big bright future with the young core they have. Thank you so much, GDM, for the super chat. Says bandwagon Fever fans complain on every loss. They say it's the ref, the coach, the commissioner, other players. They so annoying. Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of fans will be really upset with your post. But I mean, yeah, there are people who complain about everything. Like, everything is everyone's fault, and everything's a conspiracy. But here's the thing: sometimes your team just loses, and that's okay. And I think most of that fan base understands that. I think it's just a vocal amount that's always upset about something. It has to be Stephanie White's fault. She's trying to tank the team, or Kelsey Mitchell, is trying to tank the team because if she has a bad game, it's like, oh, see, she's garbage or whatever. But then when she has a good game, it's like, oh, good job, Kelsey. And then once she has a bad game, then now you hate her again because she's trash. And see, I knew she shouldn't ever return back to this team and blah 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 blah. And then like you go down the gamut hole. Now again, is this most of the fans? I don't think so. I think it's a vocal minority. All right, and if that offends you, if it don't apply, let it fly. All right, if that's not you, then it's not you. If that's not you, that's not you. Okay, no need to get offended if that's not you. Anyway, yeah, she was. Stephanie White was like she was very passionate, very emotional after that win. Cause she was like, yeah, that fight that y'all had was crazy. And it was like the heart and the fight that the Indiana Fever played with was wild. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Okay. Keyword bandwagon. Again, not most fans. Not most fans at all. Not most fans. Shout out to the person who just hit the thumbs down button. I guess it applied. I don't know. If y'all could please hit that like button. It really does. It offsets the down thumbs downs I get. Anyway, let's move on. Because that wasn't the only game that happened yesterday. We also saw the Washington Mystics in a game that might have just sealed the Rookie of the Year award. This might have just sealed it, guys. The Washington Mystics take down the LA Sparks at home. Final score 95-86. And guys, I have to say. Sonya Citron. I got two more. I got two more thumbs down. Here's the thing. The Washington Mystics, specifically Sonya Citron, has just been flat out amazing this year. Like flat out. 24 points for Sonya Citron. And once again, guys, clutch. I'm talking clutch. Dog. Sonya Citron. 5 threes in yesterday's game. I mean, I really do think that this game sealed it. Your Rookie of the Year is Sonya Citron. Sealed it. Your Rookie of the Year is Sonya Citron. It just is, because what she is doing is continuing to contribute to winning games. Dog, and I get it. Paige is fantastic. I think Paige is great. However, no. McLaughlin says Becker stands are going to come for you. They are. But here's the thing. I literally watch this stuff. I literally watch these games, and I say what I see. I say what I see. I say what I see, and what I see is Sonya. I see Sonya, who's flat out amazing. And also, I see the LA Sparks being a confusing team. The LA Sparks should have won this game, in my opinion. But they didn't. They allowed this band of young players to beat them. The 2 leading scorers for the Washington Mystics were 2 rookies. Wild. All right, Sonya, 24 points. Kiki, double-double, 18 points, 10 rebounds. And they take down the healthy, remember guys, the healthy LA Sparks. Yeah, De'Aaron cooked. Azare struggled. Kelsey Plum did her thing. However, when it came down to it, as the game was coming to a close, it was the Washington Mystics that showed us who they were. And it was Sonya Citron who showed us why she is the Rookie of the Year. She just is. And I get it. Paige is awesome. But in the fourth quarter, Sonya Citron, what did she have? Did she have 2 or 3 threes in the fourth quarter? Right? Bucket after bucket. She looked great, guys. And yes, the LA Sparks go on a run to try to close out this game, but the Washington Mystics sealed the deal. And it's cool to see. It really is cool to see a young team like this DC team is shoot 59% from the field against the LA Sparks. Right? Out-assist the LA Sparks. And yes, do the Washington Mystics have a turnover problem sometimes? They do. And the LA Sparks took advantage of that. However, when it came down to it, the better team won. And the better team was the Washington Mystics. So shout out to Washington Mystics, man. Shout out to them. All right, moving on. Oh, we got about 10 minutes. Let's try to get it. Okay. All right. So let's talk about, guys, the Las Vegas Aces versus the Dallas Wings, which was a game for a little bit, and then it became a blowout. The Las Vegas Aces take down the Wings 106-87. 106-87. And I gotta say, when we talk about the Aces, who do we talk about? Who do we talk about? We talk about A'ja freaking Wilson. Now, once again, A'ja has a monster of a game. Another 30 game for A'ja Wilson. 34 points, 8 rebounds for A'ja Wilson. Guys, again, everything I said earlier about her possibly about to leapfrog in this conversation about MVP, because of literally how amazing of a player she really is. Guys, you want to know a wild stat for A'ja Wilson? A wild stat from yesterday? This. A'ja Wilson has the most games with 20 plus points, 5 plus rebounds, 2 plus steals, 2 plus blocks in league history. Most games. Right? Most games. And how many 30-point games have we seen so far this year from A'ja Wilson? She is literally, guys, in a league of her own. The stuff that she does is not normal. But it seems normal because it's A'ja Wilson. Seems normal. Seems like, oh yeah, it's every day. It's every day that someone scores 30 plus points, right? Literally, guys. Literally. 34 points yesterday. 30 on Friday. Right? And this is just the tip of the iceberg of what A'ja Wilson does. Because A'ja Wilson is A'ja Wilson. K-Jack says, sounds like an MVP. I mean, it's looking elite. It's looking elite, guys. It is absolutely looking elite. And I don't know what else there is to say about it. I really don't. She's a great player. She is a great player. Also, guys, A'ja Wilson leads the league overall in 30 plus points games. 30 plus point games. So, yeah. The A'ja pull-up is kind of unstoppable. It kind of is. I mean, I don't know what else to say. She's great. Also, guys, as I said earlier, Chelsea Gray is continuing to look more like the Chelsea Gray we know her to be. Yesterday, she surpasses 1,800 career assists. So shout out to Chelsea Gray for that metric. Yesterday, 10 points, 14 assists for the point guard. She is back to becoming the point guard. And I gotta give a shout out to Kirsten Bell. Kirsten Bell, guys. In yesterday's game, Kirsten Bell. The Kirsten Bell who a lot of people, including myself, was talking about, like, why in the world did they extend her a contract, extend her rookie deal for a 4th year, right? Why did they do that for Kirsten Bell, right, when she hasn't really produced anything for the team? That same Kirsten Bell who has heard all the chatter for years about her and people dogging her and saying she's not good and blah, 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 blah. Myself included. And I own that for sure. But Kirsten Bell, there is something about the Dallas Wings. Something about the Dallas Wings that Kirsten is like, yeah, this is my game. When we play the Dallas Wings, that's my game. That's my game. That's my game. Kirsten Bell, guys, yesterday had 18 points. 18 points for Kirsten Bell. What? 18 points. Guys, and it's not the first time that she's had a big game against the Dallas Wings. Remember, last month when the Aces played Dallas at Dallas, Kirsten Bell had 19 points. Girl, you better do your thing. You better do your thing. Because you proven everybody, including myself, wrong. And here's the thing, guys. I love to see it. I talk based off of what I've seen. And from what I saw coming into this year, I didn't think Kirsten Bell had it. But all of that work that was done in quiet is being seen in the light, is being shown in the light. And Kirsten Bell as a starter for this Las Vegas Aces team, dog, what are we talking about? She has had a really, really good year, especially after being added to the starting lineup. And yesterday was just another example of what Kirsten Bell can do, specifically when she knocks down those 3-point shots. I'm just saying. So yeah, show out, do your thing. Because at the end of the day, I want all these players to win. All of these players to win. And I love that Kirsten Bell is proving that, yeah, she got it. So yeah, maybe she stays with the Aces next year. Maybe she doesn't. But what Kirsten Bell has proven this year, this season, and that she belongs in the WNBA. She belongs in the W, and she's going to have a pretty lengthy career, especially if she can keep those threes up. I'm just saying. If she can keep them things up. Olivia says, I learned to not say anything about anyone because they'll show out in the next game. I mean, yeah, players show up and show out. I think Kirsten Bell has absolutely done that. And here's the thing. This is why I just say what I see. Hey, if someone's not playing great, I'm going to say they're not playing great. I'm not going to say they're trash. I'm not going to say they're horrible, right? I'm not going to, but I'm going to say what I see. And once they do something that I see that is amazing, I'm going to talk about it. Because at the end of the day, I want all these players to win. I do. I want the WNBA to grow. I want it to get better and better and better. And what that means is that has to involve players like a Kirsten Bell. Players like, to show up and show out and be more than what we think, right? Like Veronica Burton. Last year, she wasn't doing much of anything because she was with the Connecticut Sun. Didn't have much of an opportunity. Now, in Golden State, she's cooking, right? Likely a huge candidate for most improved player, right? Like that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Grow and improve. Grow and improve. I love to see, and also shout out to Alyssa Smith. shout out to Alyssa Smith. It was funny. She made a 3 and yesterday, and it seemed like everybody on the team was having fun. Laughing about it and talking about like imitating, because her form is terrible. Like it's not a good looking shot, but it went in. it went in. It went in. So anyway. Yeah, I just had to shout out Alyssa Smith. 14 points for her. She made 2 threes. Dog. This Aces team is having fun and they're looking very, very dangerous. Just saying. Hey, they were clowning her, but hey, she was 2 for 2. Hey, if I'm her, I'm like, clown me all you want. Clown my shot all you want, but you see that shot is pure, right? You saw it go in, right? You saw that, right? All right, and then we got to talk about the engine known as Alyssa Thomas. Y'all know I am a fan of Alyssa Thomas because she is a flat out amazing player that does not get the respect that she deserves at all. Like she is an elite talent in the W. And yesterday she once again proved that she's the reason why the Phoenix Mercury are in these games. Yesterday, Alyssa Thomas put the team on her back. Literally, guys. She put the team on her back and got the win in Seattle on Sue Bird night. So, you know, when your team is honoring a player, right, you are going to go as hard as you possibly can. Right? You about to go all out. All out. And yes, did Alyssa Thomas have a terrible turnover that could have resulted in her team losing? Yeah, sure, she did. I'm gonna talk about that. But Alyssa Thomas was flat out amazing yesterday. Another triple double for AT. Another one. She had 19 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds. Now to put that in perspective, here is the triple double leaderboard in WNBA. Here it is. All the way at the top, with 38% of all triple doubles in the W. 38%. Alyssa Thomas. It's AT. It is AT. The league has had 52 triple doubles all time. Now, triple doubles is becoming more of a thing now, but it's a very rare thing in the W. Very, very rare. Very rare. If you look at the full gamut of the entire history of the league, right? Alyssa Thomas leads out of 52 all-time triple doubles. She has 20 of them. The next highest is Sabrina Ionescu, who has 4. Now, what's wild is Caitlin having 3 as a second-year player like that. So I guarantee you, Caitlin is about to surpass this in several years. So she's about to surpass that. But what Alyssa Thomas is doing right now is elite. Look at one of the best post players to ever play. Candace Parker only had 3. Only had 3. What we talking about? Y'all, put some respect on AT's name. I get it. She's not flashy. I get it. You know, you think she's too tough or whatever. But I tell you, the reason why I have her as my number 2 for MVP is because she does stuff like this. She is literally amazing. And literally is the reason why the Phoenix Mercury ended up beating the Seattle Storm. Right, we fast forward all the way to the towards the end of the game, right? And the Seattle Storm have the momentum in the fourth quarter. They have the momentum. They are staging a big time comeback to try to win this game, right? And with just seconds left to go, right? The Seattle Storm are losing by 3 points, right? Seattle's down by 2 points. Is a jump ball called. It's Kai versus. It was Kai versus. I think it was Gabby. I believe it was Gabby Williams who was trying to get in there. Fun fact. I wanted to grab the clip, but I didn't have time to. But there was a moment. There was like 30 seconds left to go or something like that, and Kai ended up tying up Skylar Diggins, right? And Seattle tried to run an okie doke on the refs, right? She tried to run an okie doke and have Gabby Williams go for the jump ball instead of Skylar Diggins, and it was funny because they were trying to get away with it, and they got called out, and the ref switched Gabby Williams for Skylar, and the camera moved to Noelle Quinn, and you saw Noelle Quinn just just kind of like grinning and laughing about it. I thought that was hilarious. I just got that was my fun part of yesterday. That was my that's like a very dumb thing to think that was funny, but I personally thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny. I did. And y'all probably didn't even notice that as a thing, but that was my highlight of the day yesterday. That moment where they tried to pull the okie doke and Noelle Quinn over on the sideline laughing about it. I thought that was funny. Anyway. Anyway, jump ball happens. The Phoenix Mercury get the ball, and who gets the ball? Of course, it goes to AT. AT, clutch, bucket, single-handedly is like, I got this. Boom, shot, makes it. 5-point lead. 5-point lead for the Phoenix Mercury, right? And on the other end, we end up seeing Seattle miss a shot, but get the ball right back. Nneka Ogwumike makes a layup. Boom. 3-point game again. Mercury, call a timeout. I think there was there 2 timeouts or whatever? Something like that. Anyway, timeout was called. Then we have Alyssa Thomas. And hey, she's not perfect. Alyssa Thomas, I'm a big fan of her. She's fantastic, but she's not perfect because Alyssa Thomas, off of a timeout, she's trying to throw the ball into, was she throwing it to Dewana? I think she was trying to throw it to Dewana, and she just, bad pass. I think it was Dewana. Dewana was going this way, and the pass was right here, and Dewana got her hands on it a little bit. Ball was stolen, and Brittany Sykes goes and makes a layup, right? Not perfect. And I was like, okay, Seattle about to win this game. But ultimately, no, they didn't. They were only down by 1 point, but they had to foul, so they fouled Sammy Whitcomb. And Sammy Whitcomb, what did she do? Sammy Whitcomb is always going to hit some shots, and she made both her free throws, and that was the game. Ultimately, the Phoenix Mercury ended up taking the dub and getting the job done. We saw Kalia Copper have a big game, 17 points for her. Sammy Whitcomb, 15. Satu Sabli had 11. And Dewana Bonner came off the bench and had 10. But really, the story of the game is Alyssa Thomas. She continues to be insane. Yes, 4 turnovers, excluded that one. Kind of cost him one in the end, but ultimately it didn't cost him the game. And she was just fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. Nneka Ogwumike was amazing yesterday. She was trying her best to try to will this team to victory on Sue Bird night, but ultimately she was unable to get the job done. And the Phoenix Mercury win. Now, guys, this is a building block of sorts for the Phoenix Mercury because remember, guys, this team was trash a couple of years ago. You all remember when this team didn't even get to 10 wins? Y'all remember that? I put this graphic in because it's a reminder that what you see now wasn't guaranteed. The Phoenix Mercury were trash in 2023. They were trash, right? Last year, they have an injection of talent when you, because remember, that 2023, that was Diana, it was sort of her going out, and it was the Phoenix Mercury still trying to figure out what they were going to do because you needed to move on eventually from this from the Diana era, and they just didn't really know, so they ended up firing the coach, brought in Nate Tibbetts, brought in Kalia Copper, who really did jumpstart this team last year. Kalia Copper is, in my opinion, a huge reason for the 19 wins that the Phoenix Mercury got yesterday. Right? That was that was the end. Right? 9 wins in 2023. 19 wins in 2024. And this year, the season's not even over. They have 20 wins. I'm just saying, like, you can do this for a lot of teams in the W that are balling right now. You can see where they came from. And you can see their path to success. And it is glorious to see. All right, let me finish off talking about the Atlanta Dream, who took down the Golden State Valkyries yesterday, 79-63. Oh, crap. I am all out of time. The thing to note is Ryan Howard was being Ryan Howard. She is flat out amazing. And it was a whole team effort for the Atlanta Dream, where 4 of the 5 starters scored in double digits. And they play some fantastic defense against the Golden State Valkyries. The Valkyries struggle to hit threes. This is a team that has thrived on the three, especially as of late. But yesterday, severely, they struggled from the three. Only shot about 24% from the three. It was the fantastic defense of the Atlanta Dream that got the job done. And yeah, I would talk more about it, but I'm literally all out of time. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. If y'all could, please make sure to hit that like button. It really does help the channel out a whole lot. Wow, we went for an hour and 30 minutes today. That's wild. Yeah, I gotta go, because yeah, I am actually late. Okay, I gotta go. All right, see y'all the next one. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Make sure to check me out again tomorrow. Same time, same place. Hopefully it won't go so long. Anyway, I see y'all in the next one. Make sure to hit that like button on y'all way out. Truly, it does help the channel out a whole lot. We got 200 likes. Yeah, we can get to 400. That would be absolutely great. Anyway, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. And until next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set.